Hi there, I'm Susie Harrison, Commercial Editor of IoT World Today. In this Experts in IoT interview, we will examine what's next in IoT security with Infineon. We will discuss where we currently are with IoT security and what the future holds for this technology. Lending us their expertise today is Infineon Technologies AG, a world leader in semiconductor solutions that makes life easier, safer, and greener. I'm very pleased to welcome Steve Hanna, a distinguished engineer at Infineon. On a global basis, he is responsible for IoT security, strategy, and technology. So hi, Steve, and thanks for joining us.
Hi, Susie. Thanks for having me.
So let's dive right in here with our questions. What is the current situation with IoT security, and where do you think it's going next?
Well, IoT security has been in a tough place for a long time. About 10 years ago, that attackers really discovered that there were weaknesses in many IoT systems. And then they figured out how to exploit those weaknesses and how to make money off of them by creating what we call botnets. Those botnets are groups of infected devices that can be used to attack systems, such as a bank website. They gang up like a swarm of bees. And there's money to be made there in extortion. And now they've moved on to the next phase of IoT attacks, which is being able to compromise industrial systems, really concerning there, and then doing extortion or ransomware on those systems. So as IoT becomes more popular, there's more of a threat. But I see a real bit of hope, light at the end of the tunnel, shall we say. There are some major industry efforts that Infineon has been participating in actively and, in fact, leading. One of them is a set of standards called Matter. This is a set of standards for consumer IoT, the smart home in particular, which I really think shows promise to lead us to a better place.
Brilliant. So as you mentioned, I know you've been a leader in the Matter standards effort. So what's going on there in security?
Well, we have the new Matter specification, which is coming out this fall from the Connectivity Standards Alliance, and it will be widely supported. Most of the major vendors involved in the smart home have indicated that they're planning to support that standard. It brings 10 substantial improvements in IoT security, far more than we've seen at one point and any point in the development of IoT. Just to highlight a few of them, every device will have a unique identity configured at the factory, which allows for verification at the time that you bring it into your home that it is authentic and not counterfeit, and that it's actually been certified to comply with all the Matter standards. There will be a standard way to bring devices into your home securely and easy to use. That removes the puzzle of how do I bring this IoT device into my home and connect it to the network, where today everyone is different. We have secure unicast and multicast communications, which basically just means that whenever your device is communicating on your home network, it will do so securely. We have a unique feature called multi-admin, which is all about giving you the choice of what devices you want to use to administer and control your smart home. We even have fine-grained access controls to make sure that each device can only do what it's supposed to do, and an automated standard way to do software updates on IoT devices, which is oh so important, because everything needs updates these days, as we know, based on our experience with our smart homes. So taking these 10 substantial features, all coming at the same time, I like to say it's the biggest leap forward in IoT security that I have ever seen, and I'm very hopeful there.
Great, thank you. So with the most recent set of cyber attacks exposing the vulnerability of embedded systems, how do we secure to prevent these future attacks?
Well, we can never rest on our laurels. But certainly the first thing that we can do is to make use of the best current practices, such as the Matter standard, to make sure that that is widely implemented. And that gives us a real head start in getting ahead of the attackers. As we see more and more devices supporting that standard, and Infineon products enabling them to do so, making it easy for developers to include support for the Matter standard in their product, I think we will see a substantial increase in smart home cybersecurity, which we very much need. But we always have to be looking forward. The attackers are always finding new ways to break into systems, and therefore we, the defenders, need to make sure that we are adding new protections in place, raising the bar, if you will, and protecting our systems better and better all the time. And there are several ways that we can do that. The first is those software updates that I talked about earlier. Now, we all see the need for software updates on our phones. All the time you're getting a new update pushed down to your phone. The same thing needs to be done for IoT devices. If it hasn't been updated recently, it's probably not secure. And in the long run, we need to get to an environment where they just update themselves. But in the short run, one thing that any consumer can do to make their smart home more secure is to make sure that all the latest updates have been installed on their devices and on their router. If we look beyond that into the future, we can see that there are important new features that we're going to want to add to our smart home cybersecurity and IoT cybersecurity in general. For example, quantum computing is just over the horizon, and that will really threaten many of the cryptographic algorithms that we use today. And so Infineon has been a leader in designing post-quantum cryptography into our products, and in promoting its use in standards such as future versions of the Matter standard. That's going to be an important step that will need to be taken in the future, and we want to make that easy for our customers and easy for end users, so the end users don't even need to worry about it. It's already taken care of before they get the device. Now, we also need to consider the other domains of IoT. The Internet of Things really suffuses our world today, not just in your home, but it's in your car, in your building, in industrial settings, in smart cities. And so we need to consider security for all of those environments as well. In some cases, the Matter standard may be extended to support those and new features added over time. But in other cases, special standards and technologies need to be used. For example, in an industrial IoT setting, there's an international standard called IEC 62443, which is Infineon has been a leader in that domain regarding industrial cybersecurity. So if that is one of your readers or viewers here is interested in industrial IoT, that's the document to look at, IEC 62443. And I must say that I'm very pleased to be able to talk about a new initiative that I'm leading, Product Security Working Group in the Connectivity Standards Alliance, which is all about how to make sure that all devices have an inherent level of security built in from the factory. And this is an area where we're working with more than 100 other companies on making sure that we agree upon what level of cybersecurity is needed, and that our agreement and the certification program that emerges from it is completely consistent with and in support of the emerging standards and regulations that we see around the world. So that's an exciting thing that will be coming. Just announced it, not out yet, but the product security working group will be working to raise the bar, not only of the communications protocols, but also of the inherent product security in the devices. So I'm very excited about the potential for and likely outcomes from these many different ways in which we're advancing the state of the art in IoT cybersecurity at Infineon and with our partners and customers.
Great. Sounds like there's lots of exciting developments happening. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us for this fast chat. I'm Susie Harrison from IoT World Today, and thank you very much to Steve from Infineon for joining us.